My name is Jenna Berg. I am the CEO of a company called Job Apps, and we provide online recruiting software. When you want to apply for a job online with the County of Santa Barbara, you'd go to a website like ours and you would fill out an online application and it would get processed by the County of Santa Barbara using our software. From the beginning, how I got where I am is a very long story, and I can't go into all the details here. But I would say that the reason I am where I am is every time an opportunity came in, or was presented to me, I said, sure, I can do that. I'll do that. So when we moved to California, I found an ad in a newspaper and I started working at the County of Santa Barbara, teaching Microsoft Access and Excel and Microsoft Word. I had a PhD in engineering and I couldn't find a job in this town, but I did find that job, and I was paid $25 an hour to teach, and it was fun and I enjoyed it. And when an opportunity was presented to do something more, like build an intranet, I jumped up and said, sure, I'll do that. And when an opportunity was presented, as I met people and they wanted an online recruiting system, I said, sure, I'll do that. So back in the early days. So Job Apps is based in Santa Barbara, and it couldn't be a better place to be based because I get to work mostly from Santa Barbara, often from my home. I'm often on the phone with customers and I go in and interface with different employees in the company on a regular basis. But I'm fortunate enough that I don't have to travel too much. I do travel around the country to meet customers and potential customers. Primarily though, I get to work here, and that gives me a lot of flexibility, especially because I have children. So being an entrepreneur, working here in Santa Barbara and running this kind of a software business has given me incredible opportunities to have fun and to watch my children grow up and not to miss out on the activities that they've had as kids. So every day I collaborate with our various teams within the company. We have an engineering team, and they are constantly prioritizing their work based on where our customers' needs are. We have a QA team that performs quality assurance. So anything that engineers build, they first test, and then the quality assurance team tests. We have a marketing and sales team. We're always responding to requests for demos and presenting offers to sell our software. And we have a customer service team, and actually this is the thing that I probably love the most, is interacting directly with our customers. It's a lot of fun, and it's the unexpected journey and adventure that I never realized I would get in this field. So originally I got a PhD in electrical engineering, and I taught in the university, and I loved teaching. I realized I didn't like pursuing research as a sole endeavor because it seemed to me to be a very lonely pursuit. I loved teaching, I loved working with people, and eventually I was fortunate enough to be in a position where I was able to build an online recruiting system and to be able to market that to the public sector, in particular starting with the counties in California. In the beginning it was the Wild West, so you can imagine 1998. We would code all night, and in the morning our customers would wake up to brand new software. Not always really well tested, but it was all new every day. And we coded at night and we talked to customers during the day, and one of the things I really enjoyed and that I never expected from my career was the opportunity to work with customers. So what was especially fun for me was realizing that I could take technology, I could take what I had learned and actually solve people's problems. It was huge, it was fun, and every day I got to talk to customers and help them figure out how to solve their problems. So my work has evolved a lot. Every few years I'm doing something different, and every day I do 50 different things because we're a small business, so we wear lots of different hats. In the future, I would love to have the opportunity to work more closely with all of the public sector organizations across the country who collaborate very strongly. They're not in competition with each other. They collaborate to fulfill their mission of service to the public. And so when they come up with a great idea, they share it. And it's really fun to be in an environment where people are sharing great ideas. So I would like to be in a position to be what's called a thought leader, helping people envision the future. Where will we be in 20 years with recruiting, and how are we going to get there? So one of the things that I would have done differently looking back on it is I would have taken a class in business and how to start a business, how to run a business, how to manage a business. I've had to learn a lot of lessons through my own experience, and that has been challenging and sometimes unnecessary. The other thing that I would have done is I would have just been more bold and not have been intimidated by being a woman. And sometimes I was more intimidated than I should have been. And I would have been more bold. I would have reached out more strongly to potential customers and probably been more assertive. So if you are a woman, a young woman who's interested in going into a scientific field, I would highly encourage you to do so. One of the things that happened to me recently is I got off the elevator in King County, Seattle, and I was met by a relatively young woman, and she said, "Oh my God, women in technology, you're the first ones we've seen in weeks." And we went up there to do a demo, and it was the first time in 30 some years in business that I've ever been greeted that way. But it was a bellwether to me. What it meant was that the field is opening more and more, and the more women that get into it, the more exciting it becomes, because you have comrades and colleagues and people that want to make this fun. It's really a fun place to be, and especially when you're not the only woman, and you're not going to be the only woman anymore. There's a lot of people out there, a lot of different kinds of people, and they're trying to make this kind of work as fun as it can be, and it is fun. So I would definitely recommend, if you are not averse to taking risks and you want to do something different and interesting every day, and you want to keep your mind busy, always thinking about how to solve problems and how to use what you have learned to help people solve their problems and to improve the world around us, that it's an exciting place to be as an entrepreneur. Computer science, engineering, being an entrepreneur have opened lots of doors, and I've never had a dull moment or a dull day. They all haven't been happy, but they've been overall pretty wonderful. So my job has changed every year. Every few years I'm doing something entirely different, and having a science background has given me the skill set to be able to wear all these different hats, to be able to solve problems, to be able to look at a contract and break it down into its constituent parts and figure out how to manage a very complicated legal document. So even though I don't always do computer programming anymore on a daily basis, in fact, I don't even look at a line of code anymore. The skills I learned by being an engineer and being in this field that I'm in have enabled me to look at any problem, to be a strategic and critical thinker, and to break problems down into small parts so that they can be managed. And that's what I do every day, whether it's in the context of working with customers and solving their problems, working with my employees and solving their problems, working with the entire company in a management meeting. There has been nothing that could have prepared me better for this really wonderful, challenging career that I've been so fortunate to have.